Buenos dias, Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know, like a motherfucking smack addict, right? And as you can tell by that thumbnail right there, yes, indeed, we're going to talk about the 805 area, right? Ventura County, city of Oxnard, man. We're going to talk about them Chiques gang members. For those of you that don't know, it's a very deep barrio out there in Oxnard, the Colonia Chiques as well as the Southside Chiques. Enemigas of each other, been like that for a while. And I'm going to tell you about my personal experiences with the individuals because I actually wiggled at one point in time in a menudo style and got my ass down over there to Oxnard to that 805. Was down there dipping and tripping. And yeah, I had a little run in with certain individuals from the south side of Chiques, but I'm going to tell you about all that right now. So, Trip, um, I remember getting there and being on the run. I had caught an assault charge, man, for whacking a dropout at a bar, and they were looking for me in the city of Merced. It was an all-point bulletin. Me and the homeboy Titi, the Merced in my hood. We were on the run, right? So we felt that if for no other reason, we should wiggle down there with one of his primos who was actually staying there at the time. He subsequently moved from that area now, but at that time, he was down there chilling. And so we found ourselves down there in Oxnard. Being from up north, man, I never went any further than I'd say Bakersfield besides when I was in Fred C. Nellis. I wasn't the type to go chill in LA, San Diego area, Bakersfield, or none of that, man. I knew what was out of bounds and I stood my ass up out of there. I wasn't trying to rock the boat. What the orale? And in that fashion, I'm from up north and I'm going to stay up north. Thank you. Gracias. On we go. But, at this point in time, the city of Merced was hot, so I felt that if for no other reason, I should take my ass down to Oxnard and go chill with the homeboy, see what was cracking. So I remember pulling up to the city of Oxnard, and the first thing I noticed right off the bat was vatos everywhere were sporting Cowboys jerseys. I was seeing stars on the back of their heads. I was seeing Cowboys jerseys, and the first thing I thought was, nah, I know these vatos ain't from Orange County with all the estrellas on their heads, right? Um, so I started to wonder. And me being the way I always am, I like to pick brains. I like to educate oneself and find out what's going on around me. So I remember that night, the homeboy had his old lady call over a couple homegirls. They came over. We're all chilling, and me and one of the chicks, man, we dipped. We ended up dipping to her side of town, and when we went over there, I noticed every vato over there happened to be wearing White Sox jerseys or Raiders jerseys. The predominant colors on that side were black and white. And so right from the gate, I said, okay, something's going on here. Either we got a lot of damn Cowboys and Raider fans, or something ain't right? And something's in the air. So I started getting at the chick, and I said, hey, what's cracking? And she gave me the whole rundown. She said, yeah, that other side of town, that's the Colonia Watts barrio. She said, that's the oldest established barrio here in Ventura County, well, not Ventura County, but in Oxnard. And she said, yeah, they wear a lot of Cowboys and Indianapolis Colts, and that's how they identify themselves. And she goes, and over here, the homies, I guess she was from the south side of Oxnard, right? She goes, we all wear White Sox. And I said, oh, we? So she goes, well, what do you out those wear? I said, nada, watch out, get in bed, sauce. But Trip, later on down in life, I ended up running into a couple vatos from each side. And kind of picking their mentes and finding out what was going on. And come to find out, I found a little bit of extensive history about Colonia Watts. Colonia Watts Despensa, Colonia Chiques. These vatos have been doing their thing for a minute. And, let me give you a little quick rundown, quick little spill, man. The Colonia Chiques gang has about 1,000 members. And it claims the largest part of Oxnard as its territory. And then, of course, like I said, man, its members identify with the Dallas Cowboys and Indianapolis Colts attire and often wear clothing with 5-point stars and the letter C. Members also display hand signs that form C and H, for Colonia Chiques, and a 5-point star. The gang's primary activities are killing, assaulting victims with deadly weapons, extortion, so on and so forth. Your typical gangs. But these vatos garner a lot of respect in that area. It's a vato in a hood, the Colonia Chiques. They've been doing their shit for fucking, I don't know, since the 60s. And their area that they control, they're pretty dominant. They're pretty dominant. I know that the Colonia don't get along with Southside Chiques. I don't think they get along with 12th Street, and I don't think they get along with Ventura, the Ventura Street or Ventura Boys. I'm not sure what's the name of that audio in particular. It's been a long time. But, yeah, being locked up in Y, I started to flash back and remember, hey, there was a lot of vatos with Colonia. But see, there was several barrio Colonias, and I didn't know the difference. I know there was Colonia Watts, like I said, Colonia Bakers, and then Colonia Chiques. And then I started to reflect, vatos, big old Chiques on their stomach, Colonia. These vatos must have been the vatos from Oxnard, you know. And Oxnard is a well-maintained city. It's not like it, you know, they got low-income housing, of course, on the side where the colonias are, the colonia apartments, but they don't. It's a very well-kept area, man. They keep their barrio, you know, their ship tight. They keep it up to par because it's clean. You know what I mean? When I was there, it's not your typical barrio hood where it's all ran down. There's graffiti everywhere. Charlie, I mean, it's got its little parts, its little moments, but for the most part, it's a nice town. You wouldn't even think, you know. I know Oxnard is most well known for producing boxers. You know, they used to call it Boxnard. Of course, you had Mikey Garcia, Brandon Rios, vatos of that nature, Fernando Vargas. They all came out of that area, you know. Um, Even I think Mia St. John. There's a lot of people that came out of that area, but it's known as a boxing city, as a boxing town. As vatos have hands over there, you know. Now on the other side of town, you have Southside Chiques, right? Which is crazy because they take the same name, the Chiques, but it's the South Side. And these vatos identify, like I said, with the white socks. I've seen a lot of vatos wearing the Raiders attire, mainly the colores of black and white. You know, black and white. It's to distinctly tell the difference between the sides, you know. So of course a lot of them get the Sox symbol tattooed on their head from the, you know, the Chicago White Sox because of the Sox, South Oxnard. And there was vatos everywhere wiggling like that, you know. And I remember that Heina, that's where she lived on the south side, so you know she identified herself as with them, you know, as part of their hood. And I identified myself that day as up in her, and I was happy. We were all winning. Um, but it's pretty dangerous, you know. Quietly as it's kept, that city, you would not think, like I said, in the daytime cruising around there, I used to be all up and down Rose because I stood out there for a couple weeks. And I didn't have no problems. You know, I seen a couple of autos look at me sideways, but again, man, I wasn't out there trying to wiggle and gangbang. I was just trying to get from point A to point B and stay under the radar because I myself was a wanted man. Um, but I garnered a lot of respect for the hoods and the way that they kept their area. You know, I've been to a lot of different barrios throughout Norte Califas, even down south where the barrios are ran down, the graffiti is rampant. You know what I mean? Fuck you, Pac, man. You know what I mean? Vatos are tagging on their own hood. And, you know, to some degree, that's understandable, man. It's your neighborhood, your barrio, man. If you want to rep, then you rep, right? But for the most part, man, like how we grew up in my neighborhood, we took that as a form of disrespect. If someone came into our neighborhood and tagged, man, we took care of our people around us. You know, most people in our area, you know, was low income housing or homeowners. There was no in between. There was no renters or nothing like that. Everybody was there forever or fucking just in the meantime, in between time. And everybody knew the reglas. Everybody knew the rules in the situation, man. Let's keep our hood looking clean. That way we didn't draw attention from the placas. They don't come over here and fuck with us. You don't fuck with them, they ain't gonna fuck with you, right? And that was our philosophy. And that's what seemed like rubbed off on these guys over there because they pretty much kept it under control. Now, I know that Oxnard is maintained. You know, the 805 Ventura County is a notorious county, man. These vatos have been doing it for a long time. You know, there ain't no doubt about it, man. I was in CYA. Vatos from the 805 had a nice size carro, and they used to handle their business. You know, there was a lot of fighting amongst their own, though. I noticed that the 805 always tripped with each other. You know, there was always some inner fighting. There was always the enemigas coming through and a lot going on. But anytime, man, that something cracked off, like in the school area, their participation was mandatory. You know, they were always involved. There was always some vatos from Oxnard getting in the mix. Ventura, that whole area. That was a mando. You know, like I said, but there wasn't nothing in the water that told them vatos stop. You know, everything was full go, full green, full in it to win it, full 60. Um, But the hood, Colonia Chiques, man, you know, they got nothing but respect for being about their business, you know, and the Southside Chiques también, you know, all of Oxnard, you know, that's why they're getting their spill because, you know, you got to give them love and respect where it's due. When these old barrios that are established since the 60s are still holding it down, you know what I mean? After Rico indictment, you know, they continue to maintain. You know, it's you got to give them their love. You got to give them their respect. You know, if you don't want to give them love, that's absolutely up to you. But at the same time, man, you will show them the respect because they demand it and they deserve it. You know, there's a lot of audios out here in this world. There's a lot of hoods, a lot of territories. And I'm talking about Norteños, Sureños, Crips, Bloods, MS, Bulldogs. A lot of different people and everybody has garnered their piece of the pie or their piece of the puzzle. You know, most motherfuckers want nothing more, man, than to, hey, kick back, relax with their homeboys, eat some carne asada, drink a little pisto, maybe have a nice little heine at the end of the night, and kicking back neighborhood music. They just want to kick it. You know, they just want to relax. But at the same time, there's always got to be that one Billy Badass, that one bad apple that always wants to stir the pot, homie, and always wants to push an agenda. Mainly, for the most part, it's his agenda. You know, he wants to be the man. He wants to be seen. He has to be, and there's a lot of vatos in every hood. So, I myself in my neighborhood for many, many years, man, the West Side, me being from Dead End from the West Side, we went at it horribly and mercifully, indubitably, word of the day, with motherfucking the North Side of Merced, which were the Loftboro Locals, RBL, all these different characters, right? And I give them the respect, man. I'm going to give them their spiel one of these days. Them vatos held it down for theirs, back in the 90s. Well, I wasn't really involved in the 90s. I was locked up, but the homies were wiggling with them. But when I got out in the 2000s, it still was cracking a little bit, or the late 90s. But I will say this, it's the same thing that's going on over there in Chiques, involving Colonia and the Southside. It's just one city, bro, one small city. It's not very big, it's not very big. And an imaginary line, draws down and says, hey, pass it. Come on, puto, pass it. Ooh, I hope you would. I wish you would. Sasuke, but I need to get a Slurpee at 7-Eleven. Well, pass it then, puta. Let's see what happens. Let's see if you ever get that Slurpee or you get Slurpeed. You know what I mean? It's up to you. Sasuke, get us one big gulp. You know what I mean? These vatos are not playing. And like I said, what's crazy about Oxnard was, imagine you wiggling through the city and you're a fucking Cowboys fan and you just end up on the South Side mobbing one day. Orale, neighborhood music. They're going to hit you with that motherfucking neighborhood music beside your head, right? Because they're not playing, bro. That's the one thing I noticed, and they're pretty die hard about it. And I mean, I remember even the chick said, hey, don't, because I had a Raiders jersey, me being a big-time Raiders fan. Raiders all day. I'm with the nation. She was like, hey, don't be wearing that shit over there when you go to your homeboy's house. Cause my homeboy actually lived over there in Colonia. And she's like, don't be sporting that. You know what I mean? Mm-mm. No, yes, indeed. And I was like, nah, there got to be Raider fans over there. She said, yeah, but the colors, if someone doesn't recognize you and then you're wearing that, you know what I mean? It's pretty much a rap. And I said, what you mean? She said, motherfucker, rap. Like, you're wrapped. You're wrapped up. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I hear you. And she was right, man. She was right. Like I said, I went over there to the Colonia area, to the hood over there where my homeboy was at, and I didn't see a lick of black and white, man. It was all blue. It was all Indianapolis Colts. It was all fucking Cowboys. Vatos were big old cowboy jerseys. They had cowboy jerseys I never seen before. Vatos like they made them themselves. They got the jefita and they're sewing. Orale, put a big old star on it with the fucking sword on that motherfucker, right? They're wiggling, man. They're about their shit. And that's how they do it. They mark their territory by colores. Right? And I'm not saying they're color bangers or anything like that. Nah, respectfully, I'm going to say that's just how they identify themselves. In my hood, for a while, I remember there was a couple homies that used to try to wear burgundy. I'm talking about early 90s, late 80s. And we killed all that shit, and red was the predominant color. But they tried, because everybody wants to identify themselves how they want to identify themselves. They want to stand out, And over there, it just seems fit, man, that the black and white of South Oxnard being the White Sox, Chicago White Sox, and the stars of the Chiques of the Cowboys would be, it fits. Hey, if the shoe fits, wear it. Orale, Cinderella, wear it. And that's just how it is. But yeah, so I ended doing time. As the years passed by, I ran into a vato named Lucky from South Oxnard. And I remember this vato caught my attention because he had the cleanest fucking tattoo work I've ever seen in my life on one person. From fucking head to toe, this vato's work was immaculate. Clean. I'm talking about motherfucker shit that vato shit was clean, right? And, you see a lot of vatos, they're all tatted down. Myself, and I got some pieces I like and some I don't, and it just is what it is. But you could tell this vato got all his work done by one person. It was flawless. It was smooth. It all went together, homie. It was just clean ass work. And so I had to ask him, I had to ask him, and actually, it wasn't a vato I was locked up with. It was a vato that I ran into in Fresno. He was actually in Fresno. He was staying with some people out there in Fresno, and I actually was at one of my primas. And I seen him. I knew he was a Sureño right from the gate, man. He had the socks in the back of his head. So I knew from Vatos being locked up, in YA that, and in prison, that he was from South Oxnard, just right off the top, right? And this was after I'd got out of prison and stuff, from being on the run from the assault. So I kind of knew what was up now. And I hit him up. I said, "Hey, bro, where you from?" He was like, "Sureño." And I said, "No, I know that, bro. I'm saying, where you from?" He was like, "Oxnard." I said, "That's right, bro." I said, "Hey, trip out. I went to your hood before. I knew some chick." He ended up knowing the same chick. He was like, "Damn, I ran her through too." I was like, "Hey, high five, vato. Órale," in that fashion. It was all right, nah. He's like, it was cool. It was cool. Anyways, so we could identify in that. And Trip fucking, I was like, "Damn, bro, you got some clean ass work." And he was like, "Yeah, I got a homeboy. He gets down." I said, "That motherfucker's bad, bro." He said, "Yeah, he's pretty good, bro." And I was like, "Fuck. That makes a motherfucker want to claim sold," right?" I said, "That not some clean work, bro." And we got to chopping it up. And he wasn't really active and functioning like that anymore. He was kind of just working for his familia, staying with a few friends and doing his thing. But he was a cool guy. Like I said, at the end of the day, man, he still was representing his Rangers. He still was saying Oxnard. But he wasn't out there fucking trying to break heads open. He was not in his hometown, so he didn't have to hold it down. And that's what I noticed about a lot of those vatos from Chiques as well as South Oxnard. And shout out to all the vatos, all the varios over there in Oxnard. I'm just giving a spin on these two neighborhoods, these two particular neighborhoods. But everybody there, man, you got theirs coming. You're all some real soldados, man, doing your thing. No doubt about it. The soul's on your mind's on the soul. You guys are about your shit. But Trip, yeah, I remember Lucky was a cool dude. He just was, and it's cool. And over the time, man, I got a lot of different spills about meeting up with Sureños, whether it be incarcerated as a youth or getting older and whatever the case may be. But time after time, again, it always turned out we was cool. That's where I grasped the concept of, man, we're all the same. I grasped the concept of, man, it's all love, it's all unity, it's all raza. There's little differences here and there, in philosophy and agendas and how we grew up and just different things. But at the end of the day, raza is a raza, and we're all brown. We're all brown, and that's what it is. But one thing I can say about them vatos is they hold it down for their area. Their little piece. And it reminded me of the city of Merced, because we're pretty much the same way. If we're out of the city, we would be representing North End. That's what it is. But if we went into any other city, whatever little beefs they had going on, whatever, that was on them, mums. We weren't tripping. We weren't trying to participate. We weren't trying to fucking, hey, we're going to side with you just because we're cool with you. Nah, that whatever you got going on me, that's on you, vatos. And in that fashion, do your thing. You know what I mean? And, that's just how it was. But of course, in the city of Merced, we were different. We held it down for our own, and whatever little internal confliction we had going on, it was on and cracking right then and there. And that's how these vatos were, And it just was a trip. Out of every hood, every barrio I've been to, I've been to a lot of different places where vatos wore the different colors, right? And this was the only place where they're strict to the code, man. One side of town is all black and white. The other side of town is all cowboys. It's like that, bro. I don't know if it's still like that, but it was at that point in time. And I could say Oxnard is Boxnard, you know what I mean? They're with the business. Most definitely. Like I said, I was out there for 2 weeks wiggling with that chick, and I seen it a lot and heard a lot, But Trip, there's been a lot of indictments, a lot of indictments that are happening, and a lot of heavy hitters coming out of Oxnard, And I don't really want to speak their names out here. Those who know who I'm talking about, Vatos are really out there doing it. Vatos are affiliated with the Canales down south and pushing and rocking that good rhyme in their agenda. So it's not like Oxnard's to be slept on, like you could just go over there and wiggle in their city, man, without some repercussions. The Vatos are really with the business, and they swooped up like 30, 40 individuals on a RICO a while back. I know they got a couple heavy hitters out of Oxnard that are toe up and locked up. The Placas are going to continue to do what they do. When they see heavy hitters and Vatos really doing it and they get on that radar, they're going to come for your head, no matter what wadi or what hood you're claiming. But it just seems like Oxnard is producing some real righteous individuals. And when I say righteous, I mean individuals that are righteous within the gang philosophies, Maybe not righteous in the eyes of citizens or people that are out there working every day, but within the gang realm and within the underworld, they're as righteous as they come. Fucking heavy hitters. But anyway, so yeah. That's my dealings with Colonia and Southside Chiques. Real vatos, respectfully. I want to give them the respect. The 805 area, man. Motherfuckers is with the program. Oxnard stand up, man. It's all love, you know what I mean? Everybody within Oxnard, everyone that's wiggling and doing their thing, man. Like I said, I was in the city. I wasn't over there trying to flash and gang bang and show colors and all that. You know, I was just in that motherfucker trying to get it and get on, you know? And gracias for the Heina for that bomb ass fucking mamon, and gracias for the hospitality the homeboy gave me when I was down there. It was all good, man. At the end of the day, man, the raza is real over there in the city of Oxnard, and they're gonna continue as such. And in that fashion, the gun, bang bang.